letters. The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. We have a special treat, folks. First of all, we have the chart of the DAX up showing that 3-drive pattern. But even more importantly than that, we have Norm Winsky on for a cameo appearance today, talking to us about key times. Norm, are you there?
Yes, sir, Larry.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Thanks for the cameo walk-on appearance,
You got it, buddy.
All right, so I'm going to share with the folks there, anybody interested in day trading. Even if you aren't, you might want to check this out as we go along the day or after the day here. It just takes a few minutes. You will need a 1-minute chart for your S&P E-mini. And here's your times in Eastern, U.S. Eastern time. My first one of the day is at 10:08. That's the most powerful, potentially powerful one of the day. You can see the chart there on the screen, hopefully. I gave that 3 stars and a 15-minute window when it should turn in that 15-minute window. If it's not working right, either get out or don't do it. So there we go. So moving on ahead now, we got several tiny ones. So I only gave them 1 star. We got a little bit of a cluster though, with 1 minute apart. One at 1:01 p.m., one at 1:02 p.m. Those are 5-minute windows. So I want to give them more than 5 minutes for the market to turn. By the way, these usually work about 75% of the time. I have people making
75% of the time?
That's right. I have people making serious money on this stuff. What's that?
That's pretty good. Are these planetary aspects like?
Yeah, but I stripped out all the planetary stuff so people wouldn't freak out. I know some people look at the planets and their eyeballs start spinning. So I made it real simple so anybody can understand this. Right?
Okay.
And if you take my class, I will teach you the planetary stuff too. And
okay.
And that usually takes about 20-30 minutes to learn that.
Well, you're
right. Then I got 214, a 1-star deal, 5-minute window, and I got 230, 1 star for 5-minute window, and then we got 240 for a 2-star window and 10 minutes. That's it. So there's write down those times, and that's it. That's all there is to it. See if I get lucky or not. We'll see if I get lucky or not today. And I'm due to be on the show.
We're going to see you on Monday, right? We'll see you on Monday.
Be on the show Monday, so I will have a chance to follow up, and we'll see whether I got lucky or the mighty Casey struck out, right?
Or whether that'll be your last show.
There you go.
No, that won't happen. Listen, Norm, thanks for joining us. I know it's a little early for you over there because you didn't get up till about 3 this morning, but thank you so much for coming on, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Monday, okay?
All right, thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great weekend. Feel free. Here's my contact info, just in case anybody wants to get a hold of me between now and Monday. There, I put that up on the screen right now. And there you go. So I'm in Florida. There's my phone. There's my email. There's my Skype. Feel free to call me, and I'll be happy to talk to you. And we're taking registration now for the free class and free subscription for June. So we're all booked up already. June and May is all done now. So there we go. So see you all Monday. Have a great weekend.
Thanks a lot, Norm.
Thank you, Larry.
You bet. Okay, folks, we're going to take a second here and take a look at this GROP report that we had yesterday that Rich Anderson was talking to us about, and also Cy Monley. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put up, this is a picture from my monitor. Basically, here is what we're looking at in the upper left-hand corner. You'll see November soybeans. You'll notice that it made a Gartley up there at the 61% retracement, immediately dropped 21 cents. The next one is meal. It made a ABCD pattern Gartley at the 0.44. We're very close to 50%, and it dropped, well over $900 a contract. The next one, of course, is July soybeans, also making a 50% retracement at the 1034 level and immediately dropped 20 cents. Now you'll notice a difference between the July contract that made a 50% correction and the November contract on the far left made a 61% correction. That's telling you that it's stronger. If we look at the Discorn, you can see here that it made a 1.27 expansion, and then the middle one, of course, is an hourly chart of the soybean oil, and that is the most bullish one, and it is even up again today. We were fortunate enough to buy that in the lower $31 or $31 a pound level. And then in the far right, this is the one you want to pay attention to for Monday, folks. This is Christmas wheat, December wheat, and this is a 4-hour chart. And as you can see, we completed the big ABCD pattern here back on May the 5th. And now we're coming into this full moon. Let's see if it's a full moon. I believe it is. No, let's try it again. It's a new moon on Tuesday. So let's pay attention to that one. I will not be on the radio show on next Tuesday, but I will be on Wednesday. But anyway, watch this wheat next Tuesday. If we get down here, we're about 9 cents away. But you want to make sure you do it at Monday or Tuesday. You don't want to do it before that because the lunar cycle is very sensitive, and it should be okay. Now, I've had a request to take a look at these beans on a little bit longer time frame, and we'll start out here looking at July beans. Now, this is old crop soybeans. These are the ones that were grown last year that they're still selling. And as you can see, we made that 78% level several days ago, and we had that little bit of a rally and then sold off quite a bit. That's showing you that there's really good support there at this 1011 area in July beans, and they're trading at 1019 right now. Getting below 1011 sets up much lower prices for the July soybeans. That's what it looks like from a technical basis. Now, if we take a look at the one that really looks the most bullish, and that is the November contract, you're going to see it looking a whole lot different, because you can see we've had these higher bottoms ever since February, and we just had another one right at a 61% retracement. It was a perfect Gartley there, and it did rally 30 cents. The question is, why did it come off so quickly yesterday? That can happen, folks, because what's amazing is how it hits those numbers exactly. 50% in the July beans and 61% in the November. That's the amazing thing. So we've got a chance here, but any weakness coming into next week would tell us we're probably going to go down a little bit lower before we get another really good buying opportunity. But right now they're setting at major support in these, so it's pretty important. I had Norm on today because those times that you ought to take a look at them, folks, because those are they're very interesting to look at. And when he throws out a figure like 75% correct within 5 minutes, I think that's something that we ought to pay attention, especially since we can put his feet to the fire, because his number one aspect today comes in at 8 minutes after 10, which is going to be in about 56 minutes from now. So we want to take a look at that just to see what's happening. And that's also into what do we call that thing early in the amateur hour. It's right at the beginning of amateur hour. So we want to keep an eye on that one also. So we'll pay pretty good attention to that. Now, okay, we'll be right back. We got to pay a few bills. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Are you an options trader that's looking for that extra edge when placing trades? David White will be hosting a webinar on May 16th, which is the Wednesday leading up to options expiration Friday in May, where he'll discuss in depth the methodology he uses for trading options near expiration, including swing trading setups and expiration day trading scenarios. Subscribers to each of Dave's newsletters, Path of Least Resistance and the Technology Insider, gain access to this 60-minute webinar, which will be archived if you cannot attend live. Dave has had some great option trades recently for his subscribers. See for yourself the trading methodology he uses when trading options by signing up today for either of his newsletters, and we'll see you Wednesday, May 16th at 5 p.m. for option trading near expiration, analyzing swing trades and expiration day scenarios. For all the details and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, folks, we're right back with the show here from 100 South Broad Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the offices of Duke and Duke. Hold on just a second here. We've got to get a few technical things out of the way so that we're able to see what's going on here. And we want to watch this euro, folks, because we have had a 130 pip rally off of that bottom. And I've had about a half a dozen people ask me, does that mean anything? And it does if you're short, of course, but longer term picture, it really does not mean that much at all. If you'll recall, one of the things that we were watching so closely was that U.S. dollar index, and I believe that's where the key lies. And if we bring this chart up, it'll show you the fact that we did go, above the 61% and 1.618 expansion. We stayed there for 3 days, and then we rolled over and went back below it again. We're around 92.30 now in the dollar index, so that's a possibility. Now, the moves that we had here during September and October were nearly equal. We went a little bit farther, of course, in this one because it took a little bit longer. Now, I'm not sure whether this is going to be the major bottom in the euro or not, or on the fact that it correlates so well with gold. I'm not really sure of that. But what's a little bit disheartening about the gold this morning, and Steve Rhodes brought this to our attention, and that is, we just took out the highs of the last couple of days by 10 cents. That's not what we call a valid breakout by any stretch of the imagination. So we really need to get gold above that 1328 level to really get it moving. That's what I would be looking for anyway, to see if it's going to do that. Also, there is a key time. One of the things that Norm talked about, of course, was at 10:08 a.m., and we have a key time for the gold at that time. So watch that one pretty closely. That'll be a real interesting one, because if it's making a high at that time, that would usually not be a very very important. Would not be very bullish. In fact, if that were the case, we have to wait and see. If you'll remember, folks, on the longer-term picture in the euro, I want to get this up here so we can take a look at it. We had a lot of support there at that 61% retracement, which was 59. Wow, Larry, 119.50. And we went all the way down to 118.35. We didn't quite get to the 78% level, which was 117.60. We only got to 118.35. But what we're doing now is we're coming back and we're touching that 61% line. That's really important, folks, on a technical basis. I just from looking at charts for so many years, you see that they act like magnets sometime. And that's also really close to the harmonic number in the euro. So the euro's coming up into strong resistance at this 119.40 level this morning as we speak. So sort of keep an eye on that and watch to see if it does act that way. Now, as far as the gold market, we've been we bought the gold down there at 13.13 the other day. Have a stop at break even now. We want to see what's going on, and we'll wait and see if it's going to have any more of a rally in here. But longer term, the gold and the silver, they look good to me. The question is, will it have one more big washout break before it starts to move? And the other alternative is maybe I'm totally wrong, and that happens also. So the one thing you want to remember is when you're wrong, admit it right away, move on to the next one, because there's, don't marry your wife, don't marry your trades. That's the old adage that's from old Jesse Livermore. So keep that in mind, and we'll keep a very, very close eye on these markets to make sure that they don't, run away from us, at least from the long or the short side. Let's take a quick look here at the Bitcoin. We've had several people ask about it. Steve Rhodes was talking about it this morning, and he was looking at that 82 level. You could see that would be a 61% retracement from the low down in April, and we did get up to that 61% retracement. You see we stayed there for 2 weeks. Now we're starting to sell off a little bit. We haven't sold off very much, considering that on Tuesday of this week, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger came out and basically subscribed to the fact that Bitcoin was nothing more than rat poisoning, and all the rats in Chicago and New York scurried away. But that's neither here nor there. They're not in the Bitcoin market, much like I am. I'm not in the Bitcoin market either. So we'll move on to the other thing. Okay, that's a good. David White just posted something from the Jesse Livermore book that I've read that book. Oh God, at least 50 times. A loss never bothers me after I take it. I forget it overnight. But being wrong and not taking loss, that's what it does damage to the pocketbook and to the soul. David, that is such an incredible quote. You ought to put that on the moniker on the monitor of everybody, because your first mistake teaches. The second mistake kills. Your first mistake is you made a bad trade. The one that hurts you is when you don't do anything about it. So just remember that trading is like breathing. You got to keep doing it, but boy, there's some times where you're going to have a hacking cough and you got to stand out of the way. So when you're wrong, get out of town, as they say in the trade. All righty, I hope I have this chart here. I worked on this last night. Oh, here it is. This is the big one that I wanted you to see here. This is a really interesting trade coming up here, folks. This is the kind that you really like to this is the kind you talk to Sister Mother Teresa at the Widows and Orphans Fund, because here you have, look at these multiple ABCD patterns coming up here at par. We're trading at roughly 98 now in Microsoft, just about a buck and, well, at 1 par 23 is the price target on this. If you get there, you're going to have 4 numbers coming together at that spot. That is going to be real interesting to place to sell Microsoft, in my opinion. And if you look at the those of you the tech folks that follow these ETFs, the technology ETF, I don't know what I saw it on Bloomberg this morning, but I don't know what the actual name of the darn thing is, but it is making an absolute beautiful butterfly pattern, making new highs, far, way ahead of what the market's doing. So this technical picture could be getting a little cloudy in here. So I don't know if that's it. David, could you let me, it might be SMH. We got a break coming here. I do have SMH in here, so I will double check SMH to see if that is in fact the one that we want to take a look at. Just give me a second here, and we'll see if we can get it up here. I'm not really sure. SMH. Let me see the SMH. I don't have it. No, and I don't do those things, so I guess I don't need it. Don't want to be doing it now. And what was the other, XLK? I don't see that one either, so you'll have to post it. I'm not going to be trading it, so I just saw it on the TV, and it just looked like an absolute knockout pattern, and we'll see how it's going to go along. The other one we want to talk about is crude oil, because we had that pattern complete. We haven't backed off very much. We're still about 80 cents from the high, and considering that they're fighting, in Israel and Iran and Syria, the market hasn't rallied very much. But if you're in that, make sure you keep your stop at break even, and that way you wouldn't have to risk anything. And of course, the problem is you might have an overnight risk because of over the weekend. So that's another one to be careful about. But keep a stop working, folks. They're there for your protection. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
up, folks, and I've put a chart of the E-mini S&P up because if you'll notice here, there's a whole bunch of patterns up a little bit higher than where we are right now. The number of that 1.618 expansion comes in at 27.26. So far, the high has been 27.2675. So that's very, very close, to something that could be very, very interesting. But that's what we're doing. Starting out this morning, we came back to unchanged. We're starting to rally a little bit. We'll wait and see if the market continues for the 6-day higher. Usually after 5 days, the odds of a market going down are considerably higher. In other words, you have a higher probability of the market going lower after being up 5 days, but we're already up 6 days, so that probability is already increased. Larry Williams is the one that did all the work on that. Gosh, many, many years ago, I attended a seminar with Twentyman, and he had all the statistics of the market going up 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, 5 days in a row. But the thing that he pointed out was once a market is up more than 8 days in a row, you're in no man's land because you could really go. The record that we had in commodities for many years, I haven't checked it recently, but it was 22 days in a row. It happened in silver twice, and it happened in sugar. Those were the ones that were the most interesting that occurred. So we'll see what's going on. Someone's asked a question about that crude oil. Folks, I'm not sure if the crude oil top is in or not because we haven't reacted very much. I don't know if it's stayed up here just for the fact that we've had a potential a conflict over in the Middle East, but they've been fighting for 3,000 years, so that's nothing new. But the pattern is certainly there in the crude oil and in the heating oil and in the let's put the heating oil up so you'll be able to see it also. But they're all in an area where they're very susceptible to a pretty good correction. In fact, if we do get that. Okay, we have another question about the grains, folks. I think the best thing to look at in the grains is to pay attention to what's going to happen on Tuesday, May the 15th, because we have a situation where we have a new moon, and that'll be a really interesting one to watch. And of course, we'll have Norm Winsky on Monday to talk to us about some of these things. And remember, Norm said that we have a really key time coming in here at 8:08, and that's in about a half an hour. So we'll be able to see if anything happens. And may the force be with us. We'll see whether it does this or not. Okay, the next one I wanted to bring to your attention here is this gold market. I just wanted to show you what happened over the last couple of days, because what we're doing is we're doing the same thing. I mean, it just does the same thing over and over every day. But if you'll see this whole week, if you'll notice the ABCD pattern we had down at the 1304, that was an absolute perfect ABCD pattern. I mean, it couldn't have been any better. And then on the upside, we did the same thing. And then, of course, we backed off to 1317 last night. And then we went up to make the 1.618 expansion at 1326. So it's just following along. And, folks, it's not acting that bullish. And I'm bullish gold. But 1304 to 1326, that is 24 and 26. That's $22. That's not much of a rally in gold. You'd like to see it rally at $30-40, but it hasn't really done that as of yet. So we'll see what's going on with that. Mr. Z's talking about the Microsoft at that near par level. I don't know if that's going to be it or not, but boy, that's a lot of patterns coming together. You don't see that many numbers very often. But selling short for some people is, against their better judgment, but it does look like a pattern that looks just absolutely phenomenal. In fact, like Jim Twentyman says, defy human nature, do it yourself. Pull up that Microsoft chart and look at it. Let's just put it up here again. And then take a look at it from going back to December, start, right around December, and just start doing the ABCD patterns, and you'll see how they're coming together. And then if you really want to defy human nature, put the ratios in. Add those ratios from the Fibonacci summation sequence. 618, 786 are contracting ratios. 1.27, 1.618 are expanding issues. So watch that. That's going to be a real interesting one to to pay close attention to. So we'll see if that is going to be the case. Well, we got another bifurcated market today. We got the Dow going straight up and the NASDAQ coming straight down. Nothing like a wonderful world of futures markets, but we'll see. Okay, we still got the gold trading around 1325. We should make a new high at least above 1326. I mean, we took it out by 10 cents, and that's usually not very good. So we'll see whether that's going to mean a whole lot or not. But that's the main thing that we want to keep in mind here as we look at some of these things. So we got the Dow up about 70 points. NASDAQ is up just a tiny bit. The S&P is up just a little bit. So not really too much happening early this morning, but that can change. It must be one or two Dow stocks that's making the Dow Jones doing that, because we're not seeing it in the other indices. So it's the Dow Jones is tough, folks, because you're looking at 30 stocks, and they are not cap weighted, they're price weighted. So an expensive Dow stock can make that thing move 60 points all by itself, and that's probably what's happening. And I imagine someone in the room here at TFNN could probably tell us why the one stock is probably making it move in the Dow. David, could you check that for me just to see if there is one of the stocks that is in there that is making the thing move? By the way, we did look at that SMH, that tech stock, and it is making a beautiful Gartley pattern as of yesterday. So it's going to be interesting to see if it does turn, but we'll have to wait and see, what is going on, with that. But boy, the Dow futures are getting ready to make new highs, and the NASDAQ is down quite a bit. So it's got to be one or two stocks in the Dow Jones. 22 of the Dow stocks are probably up. That's probably it. The 22 of the 30 Dow stocks are up. Thank you very much, Steve. There's the answer, and it's got to be the bigger ones too, because they're really moving good. So we'll see what happens with it. That's very interesting. Well, they got we just made a new high in the Dow Jones, so that's probably the main reason. Caterpillar, Caterpillar, Home Depot, and Johnson & Johnson. Those are all $100 stocks, and that'll do it. So that's why it's going. And Visa, and I think Visa is probably up. So we'll see how this is moving. But it's having one heck of a rally right now. We're up. We're almost up to 24,800. That's one heck of a rally in that puppy. Holy moly, guacamole! Okay, let's move on to the next one here. The currencies, we've had a little bit of a bounce here this morning off of that Canadian dollar that has been very, very weak. But in fact, it has been just extremely weak. And now it's had just basically a 40, 50 pip rally into some kind of report that came out early this morning. And then we'll see how, that transpires, from this level. We'll have to wait and see. But it's the Dow Jones that is making the whole thing jump up here. Let's take a quick look at even the S&P is almost up to this level we're looking at, which is 20. Watch this level at 27.28, folks. That's a really interesting number up here. I don't know if it'll stop anything or not, but there's a 27.28 is a 1.618 expansion up in here. So sort of keep an eye on it.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I've just posted a chart of the euro over. It's a 4-hour chart, goes back the last 4 months, and you can see the fact that the importance of that 1.618 expansion down there at the 1900 level. Once we went below that, my assumption is we were going to go down to the 7.86% level, which is 117.40. Now, right now we're trading at 119.63. And this is basically what you're looking at is what we call pretty much of a dead cat bounce. But if you'll look at the overall longer-term picture in the euro, it doesn't look quite as bad as it appears on this particular chart, because after we made that 125.50 level, which was a 78% level on the long-term, weekly, it was headed down, and what we've done is we've broken 700 points during this time. So this could be a major bottom, but we really can't tell yet. It's still the jury's still out. This is nothing more than a bounce, and it doesn't really mean a whole lot. From a short-term perspective, it really doesn't. Longer term, it still looks like we're heading a little bit lower, but we'll have to just to wait and see if that's going to be the case. Now, I'm going to go over this again because this is my opinion. Let me just bring this up to you. Someone's asked a question about the grains. Let me just bring this up to you. I want you to look in the lower right-hand corner over here where the December wheat is. That's ZW, Z8. That means Z means electronic. And you'll notice here that we made the big ABCD pattern up there at 573. We're now 36 cents lower, heading lower. We should get down to around 535 to 522 sometime between now and Monday or Tuesday. But you don't want to do it until Monday or Tuesday because it's a little bit early. You don't want to do it today because you got to get through this time period of that full moon. And as we know from our good friend Norm Winsky and also especially from Al Larson, those lunar cycles can be, really awesome. So that's going to be one of the trades that I would really like to, because you're certainly in an uptrend in the wheat. It's just like you are in November beans and some of the others. So let's watch this one for coming in, to Monday. That'll be a really interesting one, to pay attention to. So we'll see how we're moving here. Where we're still going crazy. Well, the Nasdaq going down, and the Nasdaq going down, and the Dow Jones going straight up. Boy, you haven't seen that very often, boys and girls. That's a real interesting one to see what's going on. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on these as we look at these. But we've actually, I think we came down to we took out yesterday's low in the. Yeah, we sure did. We took out yesterday's low in the Nasdaq. Boy, that in itself is a really interesting one. Huh. Well, that's really quite interesting. We'll see what's happening with that. But we'll go and move on to the next one. We got the Dow is up quite a bit here. It's up 100 points. The Nasdaq is down. The S&P didn't quite make the 28 level that I was looking at. Well, it's early. It's 27.28 was a 1.618 expansion of that previous swing, and so I think we'd kind of keep a close eye on that because we could still get there. The Russell is still acting pretty nicely. It's only the Nasdaq that is dragging the market down, but the S&P, the Dow Jones is the one that's making everything go. And remember, that's only 20 stocks out of the 1,000 or so stocks that are there, boys and girls. So that's not a big deal. So watch that. That's going to be very, very interesting to see if that is in fact going to make anything move, because the Nasdaq is not moving like the rest of the markets. There's no question about that. I'm doing two things at once, so that's why I am being a little bit skeptical, because I'm watching this number here in the Dow Jones, because we're reaching a very interesting spot. We got gold coming down now. Coming really into this time frame here in the next 15 minutes, we'll be watching this here in the gold market, because that's a key time for the Norm Winsky's Astro time, and we're only down not even down $3 from the high. So kind of keep an eye on this in the gold. It's going to be really interesting here in the next few minutes just to see what really happens with this. But we'll do that one at a time as we walk through these markets as we are looking. I'm trying to walk and chew gum at the same time. Regarding the Treasury bonds and Treasury notes, folks, they just flat look bearish. No matter how you look at this, it is just a negative scenario. I'll put up the notes first. We'll see. You're right, Maria. It is right. I wish well, it's not an easy job doing this radio show, because you're trying to give good information. I have to do three things at once. I got to watch the charts that I want to put on. I got to watch the questions that come in, and I got to try to think at the same time, and that's not the easiest thing. So we'll be able to say, I'm not sure that it took out yesterday's low. I was using a 15-minute chart, and all I saw was the 1.27 expansion down there at 42.5. That's what I was looking at. My beeper went off to tell me that 1.27 expansion hit. So I'm not sure if that is in fact what is really happening or not. I don't really know. So we'll see. We'll be able to work through this as we go through. I got another question coming in. I don't quite understand that one. Oh, it's about a stock that I don't understand. I'm sorry. I just won't be able to get to that one. Okay, someone's asked to bring that chart on the S&P up again. 1 second here. We'll get it here, and we'll take a look at it, and we'll see here. That's what we're looking at. You could easily get to 2737 to 2754 in the S&P, without any trouble. But this is a Friday and an up week. But we've got the Dow Jones still very, very strong, and the Nasdaq is still relatively weak. Given the fact that we're down on the Nasdaq now quite a bit. So yesterday's low was. It was way down there. Holy cow. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. We're just basically at a 50% retracement of that low is what we're looking at. So that's really not much of a difference to seeing, what we're looking at and what we've got here. So I'm not sure The low yesterday that I have in the NASDAQ is 69.02, and we rallied up to 69.81 last night. So it was a pretty big move to take a look at. So we'll see if it's going to continue that or not. But we're continuing to make new lows in the NASDAQ. And if the Dow does turn, the NASDAQ's going to get hit really bad. If you're going to sell something, sell the weakest. If you're going to buy something, buy the strongest. That's right out of Jesse Livermore's book. And also Bernard Baruch also said the same thing. Buy the things people are buying and sell the things people are selling. That's the key to wanting to do some of these things. So pay attention to that, and we'll see how we're going on. Another question, what's almost at the time, but we're right at a little Gartley now in crude oil, folks. So we're right at a 60% retracement here. This market is not acting too bearish, so keep an eye on this level here at 70.90 in the crude oil, because it's going to be an interesting spot to take a look at. So 877-927-6648.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics, including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, I posted the chart of the gold in here, the longer-term chart, and as you can see here, we made that 50% retracement last week. We've got up to 13.26. That's hardly much of a rally, $22 off the bottom, but I would keep a close eye on it because it's got a chance here. And we also noticed that in the silver market, which is acting even better, in the silver market, you know, we made a beautiful, this is an absolute classic bear trap in silver. You went down and you took out all the lows during February, March, and April, and you made a low on April the 30th, spot on at 1610. That took at the exact 78% level from the low that we made back in December, and that was a perfect low from the low we made in July. You can't ask for anything technically better than that, and now we're trading up. We're way up here to 1690 we hit today, so that's a sign that silver is leading the way. I'd like to see gold, perk up a little bit, but we'll watch it very, very closely. Now, in 13 minutes, we're going to have a very important astro thing come up with Norm Winsky. So we'll hopefully that it will happen today. If not, we'll put Norm down in the history books and say, yes, he used to be our guest until that time that he had a bad trade. And as we say, we move on to the next one. No, he'll be back. I still remember one of the greatest calls ever was on May the 19th of 2015. We had a new moon with Mercury going retrograde, and within 15 minutes, the market topped and had a 12% correction. So these astro things don't work all the time, but they work some of the time, and that's the main thing. Yes, the cattle are acting pretty good, Z. I'd hang in there because I think they got a really chance to be meek. Look for all the major financial markets, Gator. That's what he was looking at, I believe. So you'll be looking at the financials, the gold, and crude oil would be involved. Anything where the speculators are in there is what you'd be watching. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless. Have a wonderful weekend.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.